السلام عليكم. أنا المدرس الدكتور حسين كاظم العسكري، أستاذ مادة طرائق البحث للمرحلة الثالثة في قسم الترجمة كلية الآداب جامعة المستنصرية. اليوم راح أقدم محاضرة تعريفية عن هذه المادة وعن أهدافها وفائدتها للطالب طالب المرحلة الثالثة، وكيف يتم تهيئته أكاديميا لكتابة بحث أكاديمي رصين في المرحلة الرابعة. So, the objective of this course is to prepare students of translation department to write a good, proper research in the 4th grade. This course contains two parts. The first part is the theoretical part. In this course, in this part, we will follow the MLA approach in writing a research. MLA is an abbreviation for the term Modern Language Association. So, a student will be trained according to this approach in how to write a good and proper research. Student will be given all the theoretical aspects of writing a research, starting from choosing a proper topic and then choosing the right sources to read. After that, they will be given the mistakes they should avoid and the responsibilities that they should have. Then, the second part includes the practical part. The practical part, it means that each student in the department, in the 3rd grade, should submit a paper that contains all the steps we have studied in class. The mistakes will be corrected by me, and then they will be returned to the student to continue his writing process. The tentative paper will be submitted at the end of the academic year, and then they will be ready to be graded by the teacher. So, I will begin now with the contents of the course. In the first lecture, I will introduce to the students the basic terms and their definitions. First, I will give them the definition of the term research paper. What is a research paper and why he or she should write a research paper before graduation. Then I will give them the common mistakes made by previous students and the common mistakes that will face them during the course of writing. So, research is used to strengthen an argument, to demonstrate the need for change, to provide additional information and verification, to trace a pattern or trend, to validate ideas, to discover a process or a remedy, or to add spice to an otherwise unpersuasive piece of writing. These are the objectives of writing a research. A student should know that each paper written in the world should contain one of these objectives. So, the idea that a research is an unnecessary piece of writing required from student should be removed from the mind of the student. Now, after choosing a topic, a student should go and consult two types of sources. We have the primary sources, which are sources that may involve reading novels, conducting experiments, or examining historical documents, such as letters and original manuscripts. Primary sources can be supplemented by secondary sources. So we have primary sources and secondary sources. Secondary sources include books of analysis, assessment, and evaluation of primary sources. Now, the writing process or the composing process is the process of writing a research. It includes certain steps that should be followed so as a research will come up with the minimum mistakes and with the maximum benefit. First, zero in or on a topic and identify what you know and what interests you about. Brainstorm, free write, list, cluster, or explore ideas in your journal. Second, if the topic seems quite broad, consider how you might narrow it to fit the required length and type of paper and the audience. Third, key dates, people, places, and definitions. It may be helpful to check dictionaries. Fourth, in this point, you may have a preliminary thesis. Keep in mind that you are only tentative until you have confirmed that you are appropriate from the information you gather. Fifth, be prepared to adjust your thesis or even to abandon it in favor of another if your research suggests that you are on the wrong way. Sixth, before you begin your first draft, review your notes and consider the methods of development and the organization of your paper. Eighth, integrate the relevant summaries, paraphrase, and quotations from your notes and make sure you have complete and accurate documentation for all of them. Ninth, purpose, thesis, and audience. 10. To avoid plagiarism, make sure that every summary, paraphrase, and quotation has an in-text citation and that each citation has a corresponding entry in the work's cited list. 11. Finally, proofread your paper for typos and correct information. Now, I'm going to discuss the research writer's responsibility. First, to choose sources that strengthen your accreditability. It means don't start by randomly surfing the internet or scrolling through the library catalog. Create and use specific keywords. Then, use the best available information by experts in the field. Then, authors who are often cited in other writings on the topic. Then, use sources that are appropriate on your thesis. The other responsibility of a writer of research is to use sources appropriately and effectively. Paper should reflect your thinking, not simply string together quotations, paraphrase, and summaries from your sources. This means that there should be a kind of originality in writing a research paper. Now, some students think that if they have certain level of knowledge in certain topic, they do not need a source. One of the students asked me, I am very good in literary translation and I can analyze any text. So, do I need to use a source? I answered him, yes. Each and every student, each and every researcher and scholar in the world should consult sources for the following purposes. The source provides specific fact as evidence for your argument. Second, a source gives examples of different points of view. And third, a source emphasizes a particular striking phrase, sentence, or passages. So, sources are very important, actually, and crucial in the process of writing a research. Now, some of the students actually think that the more quotations they insert in their papers, the more good their paper will be. This is wrong. Actually, quotations should be used in a very limited way. Most of the writing should be the researcher's ideas, the researcher's work. There is a very limited use of direct quotations. So, students should be especially careful not to overuse direct quotations. Also, a quotation should be prepared and integrated well into the other body of a paper. A student should be warned against putting a quotation directly without introducing it in a proper way. A very smooth way to integrate source information in your paper is with a signal phrase. A signal phrase is a phrase used by a researcher to introduce a direct quotation. It might be at the beginning, middle, or at the end of a direct quotation, paraphrase, or a summary. I have given the students many examples of how to use a signal phrase. These are 3 examples of signal phrase used in the beginning of a quotation. Here, according to Sylvia Nassar in A Beautiful Mind, this is a book, so and so until the end, and then the number of the page. Now, this is example of a signal phrase used in the middle of a quotation. It means the quotation is split into 2 parts with the signal phrase in the middle. And third, we have a signal phrase at the end of a direct quotation. So these are the forms of signal phrase used by the researchers. Each source cited in your paper must be represented by an entry in the works cited list at the end of the paper. The works cited list, it means the list of books, articles, interviews, and other sources used by the researcher to complete his paper at the end of the paper. They should be alphabetically arranged and according to the priority, either primary or secondary source. So, this is كان هذا موضوع المحاضرة اليوم، وهو كيفية كتابة البحث العلمي الرصين الخالي من الأخطاء الشائعة والغير شائعة لطلبة المرحلة الثالثة لتهيئتهم لكتابة البحث في المرحلة الرابعة. أعزائي الطلبة، أتمنى الاستفادة القصوى من هذه المحاضرة الفيديوية، وشكرا لمن ساهم فيها، وملتقانا إن شاء الله في سلسلة محاضرات أخرى. إلى اللقاء.